Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Ayla and I'm a Twitch streamer. Normally I make Minecraft videos, but this new release called Roots of Pacha had me really excited, so let's take a look together. I've heard a lot of people compare this game to Stardew, but prehistoric, so if you're familiar with that game, you might like this one. However, a lot of games do get compared to Stardew simply because of their looks or because they have a farming aspect, so I always take that with a little grain of salt. The first thing we're looking at is the character creation. I liked the variety of skin tones and hair colors that were available, and I feel like everyone can, within certain limits of course, sort of make a character that resembles them if they'd like, and the hairstyles were cute enough in my opinion. Now, when you load into the game, the first thing you see is a cutscene that sort of sets the tone for the game. I did leave all cutscenes in the game, but if you'd like to avoid spoilers, I will write on the screen where you can skip ahead to avoid seeing them. For the sake of the video, they are sped up a tiny bit. You can pause to read if you'd want to, and any tutorial screen is cut out since I am explaining what to do in the game anyways. In this cutscene, they explain that the clan is settling in a new place. They found a giant Pacha tree that feels very powerful, and they take this as their sign to settle here in between two big rivers. Your character has to do a rite of passage to pass from childhood to adulthood, and this is where your story starts, basically. Roots of Pacha is described on their website as a co-op farming and life simulation game set in the Stone Age where you and your clan just settle in a promised and fertile land. By connecting with nature at your own pace, you'll help your clan evolve, develop culture and relationships, and discover mysteries of Pacha, Mother Nature. Honestly, this sounds pretty exciting, so let's get straight into it. Now, we wake up on day 1 and we get taken outside by our grandma and grandpa, at least I think that's what they are, and we get our first mission, which is just to plant and harvest 4 crops. It seems straightforward enough. You use your hand axe for pretty much anything, at least definitely in the beginning, and we have to find our seeds out and about. You can't just buy them in a store or anything, so I did walk around the village a little more to find some extra on day 1. I started by clearing the grass, branches, and rocks in a tiny area and tilled some land to plant some of the seeds that were conveniently growing right outside of our house. Now, while editing, I did look up who they were, and it seems like these are our adopted grandparents. They found us just out somewhere and they decided to take us in the clan, so that's pretty cool to be honest. So the fishing mechanic gets explained as you approach the water. It's pretty straightforward. You just have to hold your mouse over the fish and it tells you to either move your mouse away or catch by left clicking. I imagine the fishes start moving faster as you level up, but it's a very easy mechanic compared to some other games out there. Now, our adopted grandma did give us this flower for the rite of passage ceremony, which is tomorrow, and she explained that she gave a similar flower at her rite of passage ceremony, which is pretty cool and kind of sentimental. Now, the whole idea of this game is that you start living in a very prehistoric, well, officially Stone Age era with nothing but a stone hand axe, and you kind of progress your little village into some modern ways of living through a few mechanics. The first one of those is this community contribution pot where you put in a few items each day, and those items will be used to progress your society, and you get currency in return, which I believe is called influence points, but I could very well be wrong on that. You can use that currency later in the game to buy furniture, weapons, and other things of the sort, and better items get you more influence points at the end of each day. Now, with all that explained, we did find a few more tomato seeds. We got some from I think she's the medicine woman of the clan, and we're planting those out, and that pretty much brings us to the end of day 1. So now that we've finished up all of our farm chores and we did all of this exploring, it is time for us to tuck ourselves into bed and get ready for day 2. Now, in this little in-between screen, it shows up your contributions that you made to the community and how much influence you got for that. So on day 2, we wake up and another cutscene starts. The game tells you that it's time for the rite of passage ceremony. I'll give you a second to skip ahead if you want to avoid spoilers, but basically in this ceremony, you promise to honor the land that Pacha has given you, and you get your specific tasks assigned in the clan. You get asked to present something as an offer, and it tells you that the tree of Pacha's ancient spirit now protects you, and this means that you're very special, and I'm sure later on in the story of this game we find out exactly why this is. So now with all of that said, let's watch the rest of the cutscene. After the ceremony, you get a little bit of time to socialize, and if you did want to meet all the members of the clan and learn a little about their backstory, this is an excellent place to do so. The character design isn't super deep, but every member has their assigned jobs and family members, and so it does feel like the clan is alive. There's a few characters that you can romance in the game as well, but I haven't touched that part yet. After the rite of passage, we walk out and start by doing our farm chores. I don't know if the farming will always be a main part of the game, but it seems like for now, in order to have things to contribute to the community, you need to either farm or fish a lot to make a significant contribution that you can use to progress the clan and get yourself other nice things. As we approached the water earlier, we got a little pop-up that a member of the clan had an idea of how to progress, so we went to go find her, and she explained to us that she would like to find an easier way to distribute water across the clan, and she needs some materials for it. Luckily, we had it all on hand, so we gave her the materials and she got to work. The idea system is the other main way that you progress the clan, so it's definitely a good idea to get on them as soon as possible. When waking up on day 3, it shows that one of the clan's members has a pretty heavy burden to bear, and the game gives you a prompt to go help him. We first got to work on watering the crops that we have outside of our house and contribute to the community with the community pot, and then we went to go find him. So as we approach him, he asks us to catch some fish, since catching fish for the whole clan is a lot of work. So we did that and we put them in the community pot. I did cut out the fishing minigames, but be aware the minigame is still there. I just cut them out to make the video a bit smoother. After that, we did walk back to Voda, who had the idea for the well, and she gave us what she had built along with the blueprint so that we can make it ourselves if we need to. We placed the well on the farm, and look at that, you can fill your water skins right on the farm now. We also talked to Tare, who asked us to contribute to the clan, and she gave us this drying rack and explained how the crafting in the game works. You craft things by going in the crafting menu in your inventory and then grabbing it straight to your bags. I crafted a chest and some hats, and I placed them down, but honestly, don't look at how horrible I made the pathing look. I put them all down in the wrong place, and I couldn't figure out how to pick them up anymore. Now that I'm doing this voiceover, I'm thinking it's probably possible to smash them with the hand axe to destroy or pick them up, so next time I play, I will probably focus on fixing that mess. On day 4, we wake up and we see a cutscene of a wall in the caves opening up, and it tells us an energy seems to be flowing through the caves, so I'm assuming the game wants us to go there for the day. Lucky for us, it was raining, so none of the farm crops needed tending and we could get right to work. As we made our way to the caves, I noticed that there's a lot of possibility for foraging in the forest, which sort of makes sense now that I say it out loud. But there's also plenty of cute animals, and when you interact with them, you get told that there's an idea for getting the animals to trust you. And if you know me, you'll know I'm very excited for any game that lets you interact with its animals. So we picked up some seeds to plant later today, and then we head to the cave entry. In the caves, you get told by these little armadillos that you need to go through it, and you'll face some challenges along the way. And if I may say so, challenges they were. I know it seems really straightforward, but it took me nearly 3 in-game days to figure out that all I had to do was hit more rocks. I mean, they told me to prove my strength, right, by hitting rocks, but they never told me how many rocks I need to break, so I cannot be held accountable for this. So we hit a bunch of rocks and we make our way through the caves until we hit this dead end. At least it seemed like a dead end to me, but I promise you I will figure it all out on day 6. It's a little puzzle that has a drawing of a pomegranate and a pine cone on the walls, and yeah, like I said, someday I will figure it out. On day 5, honestly, not a lot happened, so we can skip over this pretty fast. I had laid some fish to dry the night before, so I got them and I replaced them with new fish. I haven't played long enough to know if the fish goes bad after a while, but I assume that drying it makes it keep longer. At the very least, it makes it more valuable to the community. So we made our contributions to the pot. We didn't need to water our crops because it was all raining, but it was a pretty chill day. So like I said, Oka had an idea of how to tame the animals, and she had asked for some fibers or grass or whatever the material is called, so we talked to her. And our grandfather Igor wants to show us how to make seeds from other seeds. Now, we didn't have the materials or the contribution points for either of those, so I had to come back the next day to deliver those. On day 6, we wake up and we find ourselves in another cutscene. This time the clan leader tells us that we should be building a bridge to be able to cross the river, as there might be some very powerful energies there. We do have to do our little farming chores on this day since there is no rain, but it's okay. With the well in place and the water skin, it all goes by pretty fast. From the boy that we helped earlier, his name was Frere. I'm sorry, I'm butchering all these names, I'm really trying. But we get a smoker for fish as a thank you for helping him out with his tasks. Now, if you remember, on day 4 we were in the cave and I couldn't complete the first puzzle, so I went back on day 5 and I got no further, which is why day 5 suddenly was a very short day. But I went back again on day 6 and just started hitting more rocks, and lo and behold, another door opened. I saw in the drawing from the previous room that the statue would like an offering of a pine cone or a pomegranate, so I gave it a pine cone, and in return the statue gave me a challenge. When we completed that, we moved on to the next rooms where we got some flintstones, and we can use those to make better tools, which is pretty exciting. There were a few more rooms to go through, but we ran out of energy pretty fast and we just went home after that. But apparently not before we have to lit this beacon with this torch, hit some more rocks, and then we get to the next room and we do actually get to go home. So as we approach day 7, I should mention that it is the last day that I decided to play. I thought playing through a full week would both be a nice stopping point and give me quite a clear overview of the game. So far I am enjoying it, and looking at the screenshots online, you can definitely progress your society much further. So while the first week is definitely more dedicated to figuring stuff out and explaining the mechanics, I think that there's still a lot of story and progression left. I am excited for the building aspect. Obviously you get to decorate the entire town at some point, and I love playing games with building aspects. In the background here, I was given a prompt to place our own house down as soon as we woke up on day 7, because we did the rite of passage, so now we get to live on our own. So I picked a spot that was both pretty close to a farming field and to the communal clans area, because I thought it would be a very convenient spot for our house. Now, Oka just gave us a flute that she made as her idea of trying to get the animals to trust you, and in a little tutorial menu it is shown that to use this flute you have to equip it and walk up to the animals in the forest to tame them. Basically, you click on the beat and it plays a little song, and I am quite upset that I failed to record audio for the game, as I thought it would be nicer to just have the soundtrack in the background. But just imagine that there's a little tune that plays for you as you're taming the animals. Depending on how well you click, you get 0, 1, or 2 hearts with the animals, and when the bar is full, I imagine you are able to invite the animals to live with you or perform some other interaction with them. So overall, I definitely did enjoy playing the game. While the first week was dedicated to figuring things out and making a few mistakes which made the progress a little slow, I am happy to see where the game and the story goes. The content I've seen online definitely has been very cute, and the game's soundtrack, which has been playing in the background, is honestly super calming and lovely. I hope this video gave you a little overview of what to expect, and I hope it's made you excited for the game. We have one more cutscene to watch, as this one is playing right when we woke up on day 8. I didn't want to cut it out. And it's about crossing the bridge for the first time after it was finished building. Roots of Pacha was made by Sodaden and funded by a Kickstarter, so you'd be supporting some very promising and up-and-coming game developers by buying this game. If you're a cozy gamer like me, I think you'll have a pretty good time with it. The game is available on Steam for you to check out, and I will link the game's YouTube channel down below if you want to see some more content. Let me know how you feel about the game in the comments, and if you're excited to play it for yourself or watch me continue. And if you enjoyed this little Let's Play, consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much for being here today. I will catch you all again in the next video, which will probably be either Roots of Pacha again or some Minecraft. So thank you so much, and I'll see you again. Bye bye!